Only a fool doesn't change his mind in life. If you hate, you've been defeated. Happiness is when you are understood. Great happiness is when you are loved. True happiness is when you are loved. If someone wants to hurt you badly, it means they're worse off. When you feel bad, listen to nature. The silence of the world calms you better than millions of unnecessary words. Silence is a great friend who will never change. A man who makes a mistake and doesn't correct it has made another mistake. If you are the smartest person in the room, you are not in the room where you should be. If you get spit on in the back, you're ahead of the game. You can only overcome bad habits today, not tomorrow. Work on purifying your thoughts. If you don't have bad thoughts, you won't have bad actions. Once you have chosen a goal, pursue it with all your heart. I don't get upset if people don't understand me. I get upset if I don't understand people. A noble man makes demands on himself. A lowly man makes demands on others. In ancient times, people studied to improve themselves. To improve themselves, now they learn to surprise others. The most beautiful sight in the world is the sight of a child walking confidently down the road of life. On the road of life, on the road of life, after you've shown him the way. Pick a job you like, and you won't have to work a single day in your life. When you find the goal unattainable, don't change the goal. Change your plan of action. There is beauty in everything, but not everyone can see it. To respect every person as ourselves, and to do to them as we wish to be done to us, there is nothing higher than that. It doesn't matter if you walk slowly, just don't stop. I don't know what's early, I know what's late. In a country where there is order, be brave in action and speech. In a country where there is no order, be brave in action but careful in speech. Life is simple, but we persist in complicating it. To send men to war untrained is to betray them. I hear and forget. I see and remember. I see and remember. Doing the right thing leads to the right result. He who wishes to preserve the good of others has already preserved his own. He who, by turning to the old, is able to discover the new, is worthy to be a teacher. I don't understand how you can deal with a man who can't be trusted if there's no axle in the cart. How can you ride it? How can you ride on it? A true philosopher is free from prejudice, confidence, stubbornness, and selfishness. The noble man lives in harmony with all, and the lowly man seeks his own kind. To know what ought to be done and not to do it is the worst cowardice. The more harshly and ruthlessly you judge yourself, the more justly you judge others. An angry person is always full of poison. To visit and listen to angry people is the beginning of an evil deed. A noble man knows his superiority, but avoids rivalry. He gets along with everyone, but never colludes with anyone. Anyone can become a noble husband, you just have to dare to become one. The greatest glory is not in never make a mistake, but to be able to rise every time you fall. Study as if you were constantly feeling the lack of knowledge. Of your lack of knowledge, and as if you were constantly afraid of losing your knowledge. A precious stone cannot be polished without friction, nor can a person become successful without enough of difficult attempts. It's easier to light one small candle than it is to curse the darkness. Teaching without thinking is useless, but also reflection without teaching is dangerous. Fight the evil within you, not the evil of others. A wise man is ashamed of his shortcomings, but not ashamed to correct them. A noble man endures adversity. A lowly man in distress blossoms. He who speaks beautifully and has an attractive exterior is seldom truly human. A wise man does not do to others what he does not want done to him. It's hard to find a black cat in a dark room. In a dark room, especially if there isn't one. A respectful son is one who grieves his father and mother's father, and mother only by his illness. A word must be true, and action must be decisive. A noble man is one who acts first and speaks later. The obvious is seldom true. To complain about an unpleasant thing is to double the evil. To laugh at it is to destroy it. If I am in the company of two people, I will still find something to learn from them. I will try to learn good qualities, and if I learn bad ones, I will try to correct them in myself. It's easy to be rich and not be proud of it, but it's hard to be poor and not complain. He who moves mountains first removes the small stones. When the state is governed according to reason, poverty and want are shameful. When the state is not governed according to reason, wealth and honor are shameful. There are 3 mistakes in human communication. The first is to speak before you have to. The second is shyness, not speaking when it's necessary. The third is to speak without observing your listener. When people think nervously about the future, they forget about the present. The present, so they don't live in the present for the future. They live their lives as if they'll never die. And when they die, they realize they never lived. When I was 30, I started my life at 30. 40, I was arrogant. 50, I realized my place in the general order of things. In my 60s, I learned not to argue. And now I'm 70, and I'm in a position free to go about my life without destroying its foundation. Blessed is the man who knows nothing, who doesn't risk of being misunderstood. Live your life the way you want to live it, not the way others expect you to live it. Whether you live up to their expectations or not, you will die without them, and you'll win your victories on your own. Noble people live in harmony with other people, but they do not follow other people. Low people follow other people, but they live in harmony with them. A noble husband is straight and firm. They are stubborn. Is there one such word, a guideline with which one could live one's whole life? Confucius was asked. Yes, there is. It's condescension. The frequency of intercourse between a man and a woman has no bearing on their physical health. It is not worth reasoning with a scholar who, while striving for truth, is at the same time ashamed of bad dress and bad food. The wise is not at a loss for people or words. Not to speak to a man who is worthy of conversation is to lose a man, and to speak to a man who is not worthy of conversation is to lose a word. A noble man is one who acts first and speaks later. Someone asked whether it was right to say that evil should be paid for with good. The teacher said, "What is there to pay for good? Evil must be paid with justice, and good with goodness." 3 paths lead to knowledge. The path of reflection is the noblest path. The path of imitation is the easiest, and the path of experience is the most bitter. To be wronged or robbed is nothing unless you keep remembering about it.